Hey everybody, welcome to Always Bored Never Boring. Today we are playing Mission 1 from a 5-part campaign called Renegade, originally published in White Dwarf issue 145 way back in the day. If you watched my teaser trailer for this series, you will know I am sending a squad of 5 terminators in search of Hermiotus, a scientist who has accidentally gone and got himself infected with some gene stealer plasm. Over the course of the campaign, we are going to find out where he is and we are going to capture him and return him for justice. He is far too dangerous to leave roaming around the galaxy. My Terminator squad comprises a commander with a Stormbolter and Power Sword, we have 3 Terminators with Stormbolters and Power Fists, and then we have 1 Terminator with a Heavy Flamer and Power Fist. We'll explain how all those weapons work once we are underway. The only other thing to note really is, because Terminators have better armor and better equipment than regular Marines, they get 4 less equipment cards, so I am starting this campaign with no equipment whatsoever. I do still get an order card. I have selected Fire. When I play that order card at the beginning of my turn, all of my Terminators will be able to fire twice as well as moving. You will notice around the board we have some little tokens. Most of these tokens represent debris which blocks movement and line of sight. I've made these tokens myself. I printed them out, mounted them on grey board, which was in turn mounted onto white card, and then I have sealed them with a satin finish Mod Podge. One of the tokens, which I have placed in the top left corner of the map, is a computer terminal. This is relevant for the primary mission, which we are about to read. Mission HT AF001, Sector Beta Magellan, obtain alien intelligence. You must obtain information regarding the whereabouts of Hermiotus. Space Marine squads are ordered to assault alien space station Terrafus and interface with the base computer. The primary mission token will be won by the player who successfully accesses the computer. So there we go, I have placed the terminal in the top left quadrant of the board. Only a commander is able to access the terminal and it takes 2 full turns, so my commander is a priority target for all of the aliens. Let's get things underway. We will explain additional rules as we go. Each of our lumbering Terminators can only move 4 spaces, but we are going to start by activating one of our regular Stormbolter Marines. He uses 2 movement points to get to the door. He can open that door as a free action. We have 2 movement points left, we're just going to move into the corridor. We are very exposed there, but Terminators have an armor class of 3, so they should be able to shrug off most attacks. And now, because that Terminator has finished moving and he has entered a new board section, we have to place blips. For this mission, we are using all of the blips from the core game. I have divided them completely randomly into 4 stacks, and I have allocated 1 stack of blips to each quadrant of the board. That means I have absolutely no idea what I'm going to be facing here. Could be a dreadnought straight away. We are placing 8 blips and we're playing the good old-fashioned hide behind the door trick. We can now push forward with the rest of our Terminators, each of which is moving 4 spaces. And we will play a little cautiously at first until we know what we are facing. With that done, it's the alien player's first turn. We start by drawing an event card. And we have drawn auto defences. You may shoot at any one Marine or Commander miniature on a room square. Roll 1 heavy weapons die. Now, this might be scary for regular Marines. For Terminators, it's not a problem. Our armor class of 3 means that we can instantly shrug off the damage from a single red dice. So we don't even need to roll, we're completely safe. Let's activate some blips, starting with the one closest to us. It opens the door. It's going to advance into the corridor, and because it's in line of sight to a Terminator, we reveal it. It is but a lowly Gretchen. Gretchens have a movement of 8, this one is going to back up along the corridor, and then it's going to shoot at the Terminator it can see. Gretchen roll 2 white dice to attack, and they need to roll 4 successes in order to kill a Terminator. That works out to something like 3% chance of success. But I have learned from previous playthroughs, never count out a Gretchen. It actually has enough movement to move all the way back there, and we roll our 2 white dice. 00. Our second blip advances to there, and that is an orc. In ranged combat, orcs roll 2 white dice, the same as Gretchen, and therefore have a very low chance of killing a Terminator. But they also roll 2 white dice in close combat, so this orc is going to live by the sword, or in this case, the big chopper. He's going in to attack in hand-to-hand combat. And in hand-to-hand combat, a Terminator's armor counts for nothing. We roll 2 white dice. And we have rolled 2 successes. That's a big hit. In retaliation, our Terminator rolls 1 red and 1 white dice. and rolls a 3. That's a 2 and a 1. In hand-to-hand combat, you deduct the lowest value from the highest value, and the difference is how many wounds the loser will take. In this case, the orc takes 1 wound, which is enough to kill it. First blood to the Terminators. Close call though. We remove our orc from the board, and because we have killed it, we score some points. 3 points to be exact. There are still many more blips to get through. Let's speed things up a bit. Next, the 2 blips in the lower left corner of the board. We open the door, we move into the corridor, and we reveal. It's another orc. Orcs only have a movement of 6, that is not enough to get into close combat with one of these Terminators, so instead it is going to back off to the end of the corridor and shoot. 2 white dice against the Terminator in the corridor. Just the 1. Our next blip moves out for 1, and it's yet another orc. That orc may as well stay where he is and shoot. 2 white dice. 2 hits, only halfway there. We open the next door. Once that blip moves to there, it can be seen and is revealed. And we have our first Chaos Marine. That Chaos Marine has a bolter which only rolls 2 white dice when shooting, so we are going to charge into hand-to-hand combat with the Terminator. It's high risk, but it is our best chance of killing a Terminator. We roll 2 white dice. And that is nothing. We retaliate with our power fist. A single hit is enough to kill the Marine. And we roll 2, so we do squash this Marine. We remove the Chaos Marine and we score more points. 5 this time. The next blip advances. To there and reveals. Just a Gretchen, but that's okay. I'm hoping for another one at least, so that I can form a screen to protect my orcs. So we'll stand there. And we ping this Terminator. 2 more blips to go. That's 2 movement points to there, and we reveal. And it's an android. That's a little bit scary. Androids are actually better in hand-to-hand combat than a Terminator with a power fist. However, they only have a movement of 4, and having used 2 spaces of movement already, this android cannot get into hand-to-hand combat. So it's just going to advance up as far as it can and shoot. When it shoots, it will roll 3 white dice. So we'll go to there. And from there we have line of sight to the Terminator in the top right corner of the room. So we're going to shoot at that one. And we roll triple zeros. With a roll like that, it doesn't matter if you're wearing Terminator armor or your underpants, you're going to survive. The final blip moves up, 5 movement points to there to reveal. And it is another Chaos Marine with a bolter. Having moved 5 spaces already, he only has 1 movement point remaining. Not enough to get into hand-to-hand combat with anything, and as he only has a bolter, for now we're going to duck back out of line of sight, hope we survive to the next round and see if we can do some damage then. So we duck in there, and that is the end of the alien player's turn, except for reinforcements. For this mission, we have access to all of the green Gretchen reinforcement tokens, and there are 2 entry points where we can bring them in each turn. We are allowed to bring in 2 reinforcements here, and 4 reinforcements here. Those are the only spots on the board where reinforcements can arrive, and I can only bring in a maximum of 6 per turn. But having done that, our alien player turn is finally over. The Terminators start their second turn, and I can immediately see that I have made a tactical blunder. I was hoping for at least 1 more Gretchen to stand in front of those orcs to protect them from the flamer. However, that has not happened. So there is now a very real chance that we are going to lose a lot of alien units in one fell swoop. Let's activate our flamer unit first. He's going to move to there, and as with the missile launcher, with the heavy flamer you don't have to target a miniature, you can target a space. So we are going to target the space directly in front of the orc ahead of us. That means both orcs and the Gretchen in front of them will be in the splash radius. We are rolling 2 red dice for this attack, and everything in the splash radius is hit for the total of those 2 red dice. And that's a 3. That means everything in the area is wiped out. A huge play for the Terminators. No wah for you today, boys. And 8 more points for the Terminators. We're going to advance up one of our Terminators with a Storm Bolter. That takes all 4 of our movement points to get to there, but we can now shoot at the android with our Storm Bolter. We roll 1 red and 1 white dice. The android has an armor class of 2. We've rolled double zeros, so that is not going to cut it. But fear not, we have more Terminators. We'll advance that one into there, and he is also going to shoot at the android. And again, 2 zeros. Okay, I really need to put the beat down on this android. We're going to activate our Terminator commander, and he's going to move into a position where he can attack with his power sword, rolling 2 red dice. 4 hits, that's huge. The android also rolls 4 red dice. And rolls double zeros, so we have absolutely destroyed that android. That was really important. Androids are scary. They are also worth 10 points. We have 1 more Terminator left to advance. Unfortunately, because of the wall, he cannot get eyes on that Chaos Marine, so instead he's just going to shoot the Gretchen at the end of the corridor, which he kills with ease. Annoyingly, if he could have got line of sight on that Chaos Marine, a roll of 3 would have killed it. But 1 more dead Gretchen is never a bad thing. Neither is another 2 points. We start the alien phase by drawing an event card. And we have drawn Report In, play on one of the Marine players. The player may not move or attack with his commander miniature on his next turn, as he must report in. You know what he's doing? He's phoning up his mates. Hey guys, you'll never guess what, I absolutely just totaled an android. But while he's doing that, the aliens get to roam free. Let's start by activating our Chaos Marine, who is going to go around the corner and attack this Terminator in hand-to-hand combat. And remember, it's only 2 white dice, but that is still our best chance of killing one of these Terminators with a Marine. 1 success. Our Terminator retaliates and rolls 3 successes. We knew it was a risky play, we took the chance, it didn't work out. Our Marine is dead. Terminators are doing okay so far, and they bag another 5 points. Let's see what our Gretchen can do. This one advances, it's going to shoot at the Stormbolter, 2 white dice. Nope. His mate's going to move up and have a go as well. He goes to there and shoots. Nope. And then we have our Gretchen reinforcements over here, who are all going to move up into the corridor. 4 movement points to there to open the door, and then he's going to keep as much distance as possible between him and the big mean blue boys, and then he is going to shoot at the Stormbolter. 1 hit, it just pings off the shoulder pad. Next Gretchen, he's going there and he's going to do the same thing. Nope. The next one moves up to there. Still nope. And the last one, just there. And that's a 2. Still no. That is the end of the alien player's turn, so we can go straight into Terminator turn 3. Our objective is in the top left quadrant of the board. We don't really want to have to move through the boards where we're constantly going to be facing new reinforcements, so for that reason the Terminators will start heading north. Our commander is going to activate first. He's going to start by taking a pot shot at one of the Gretchen in that green room behind him. 2 hits, more than enough. We remove the Gretchen, and once again we score points. Another 2. And then our commander is going to move 4 spaces. I killed an android, boys, it's up to you now. Next up, our leading Stormbolter is going to try and kill the other Gretchen in the green room. But he misses, that's rubbish. Never mind, plod on, he's going to go and follow the boss. Our next Stormbolter will activate. Let's kill this Gretchen though, he's being a pain. And again we miss, that's ridiculous. Next up, our Heavy Flamer is going to activate. He's going to launch a flame all the way down the corridor, directly at that group of 2 Gretchens. And we roll 4, that's easily enough to kill both of those Gretchen. We remove them from the board, and we add another 4 points to the tally. But now we do want to move our Flamer. He's going up there out the way. We have 1 Stormbolter left to activate. He's going to take a pot shot at one of the Gretchen down the bottom of the corridor, and then he too is going to head north. And he's missed as well. I think these Terminators need to check their sights. Never mind, we're clearly saving all the big rolls for the big enemies. Let's move. And that is the end of that. That did not go as well as it could have done. Let's draw an alien event card. We have Master Controls. You may open or close as many doors on the board as you wish. This isn't really useful at the moment. Not much to activate this turn. We have the Gretchen in the green room. He's actually going to move out into the corridor and take a shot at the Heavy Flamer. Just from there. And we roll 2. The other Gretchen are going to head north. They have a computer terminal to protect. It is now the reinforcement phase. Obviously we don't want to put any Gretchen in the lower right quadrant because the Heavy Flamer will immediately nuke them, but we may as well put 4 more Gretchen in the lower left quadrant. And now it's time for the Marines to activate. Our commander is going to lead by example because he can actually reach the first door in the next quadrant and open it. So we move 3 spaces to the door, we open it, and then we are just going to back off 1 space against the wall. Having completed that action, we have to spawn some blips. and we will place them like that. That is 3 behind the door on the right, 3 behind the door dead ahead behind the pile of debris. There is 1 in the corner of the room in the top left, and 1 in the corridor. I hardly ever place blips in corridors, fancy the change. Next we're going to advance up a couple of storm bolters so they are standing just inside the door. Then our heavy flamer is going to put some extreme overkill on this Gretchen behind him. That's 2, that'll do it. We remove that pesky Gretchen from the board and score another 2 points. The flamer is then going to advance up behind the rest of the squad. And of course our last straggler is also going to advance. He's got a rearguard action going on there just in case any more Gretchen pop up in the reinforcement zone. It's time to draw another alien event. And we have the weapons jammed card. Play on one of the marine players. That player may not fire any heavy weapons on his next turn. Ouch. Well, that's my heavy flamer out of commission this turn. The aliens better capitalise on this. First things first, we'll advance these Gretchen in the bottom left corner as far as they can go. Like so. Next, I think we will open the door directly in front of our Terminator commander. That rubble in front of him blocks line of sight, so neither of these blips are revealed just yet. Let's rectify that by advancing with the first one. We advance to there and reveal. That is just a Gretchen. And that Gretchen is immediately going to hide because he doesn't have a lot of chance of doing any damage against the Terminator commander, and I'm pretty sure we're better off keeping him alive until a little bit later on. He's just going to go into that corner. Our next blip advances to the same spot, and it is just another Gretchen. He's going to go back to this door and open it, and then duck around the other side. Let's move our next blip. 2 to there and reveal, and again it's just a Gretchen. Don't forget, any one of these blips could be the Dreadnought, I don't know. Okay, and this Gretchen is going to run a little interference for us. He's whipping past the commander and he is going to shoot one of the storm bolters. He rolls a 2, that's not good enough. Let's move the blip that's in the corridor. 5 movement points to there to reveal, and it is an orc. And it may not be wise, but when has an orc ever been wise? The orc has seen a big blue chonky boy and he wants to fight him. We advance 1 more space. We roll 2 white dice. And we have rolled a 2, it's a good hit. Our commander retaliates with 2 red dice. And rolls 3! Easy come, easy go. And 3 more points for the Terminators. Finally, we're just going to reposition a couple of blips that are on this board without revealing them. Those 2 blips are just going to go there. Oh, and we must not forget our 2 Gretchen up at the top. They are going to advance. They're both hiding just behind the door. And I do not think it would be wise to bring on any reinforcements this turn, so we won't. And now it is time for the Terminators to activate. To start with, our commander is going to shoot at the Gretchen he can see, absolutely pulverising it with a score of 5. Another easy 2 points. And our commander knows no fear. He's going to advance. None of our other Terminators are going to be able to get line of sight on anything, so they are all going to push forward and position themselves tactically. Like so. And that completes the Terminator's turn. We can now discard our weapons jammed card. Next turn, our heavy flamer will be back in operation. At the start of the alien player's turn, the Terminators appear to be in a strong position. Let's see what happens when we draw an event card. Auto defense systems. You may shoot at any one marine or commander miniature on a corridor square. Roll 1 heavy weapons die. As before, we know we cannot kill a Terminator with 1 red dice, so that does nothing. First of all, we will activate the blips in the lower right corner of the board. We're going to open that door leading out onto the corridor. And then if we advance 1 space out, we should become visible. What have we got this time? It is an orc. We've moved 1 space, we have 5 spaces remaining. And that is bad news bears for our heavy flamer, because that does mean the orc is in range. We squeeze in there and attack with 2 white dice. Rolling double zeros, the heavy flamer retaliates with 1 red and 1 white. Also scoring nothing, it's a standoff. Let's try and put some more hurt on that flamethrower. We move our next blip, 3 spaces to there to become visible, and it's just a Gretchen. Having moved 3 spaces already, he does not have enough movement to get eyes on the heavy flamer, so instead we will just move into the corner and take a shot at the storm bolter. Let's see your quality, Gretchen. That's not it. Our next blip is going to move into the corridor. That's 4 movement to there. It's another orc. With only 2 movement points remaining, that orc does not have enough movement to get into hand-to-hand combat, so it will advance as far as it can and then it will shoot. Just the 2 white dice. And again, double zeros. Next we have a couple of Gretchen to activate. Let's activate the one in the top right. 8 movement points gets him right into the corner where he can thread the eye of the needle and take a shot at the heavy flamer. 2 hits, not bad, not good enough. Our next Gretchen can also get eyes on the heavy flamer. 6 movement points to there, and we shoot. 2 again, they're getting closer. We have more Gretchen to come in from the north. Let's see if we can swarm these terminators. 6 movement points is enough to get one of them right into the corner of the corridor. From there he will shoot at one of the storm bolters. Just 1. And our next Gretchen, 6 movement points to join his friend. And he rolls 2 as well. The terminators are getting swarmed, but that terminator armor is really paying off. We have another blip to move though. 2 movement points to there, and it does come into line of sight of the commander. And it's an android. Androids have a movement of 4, and as it has already moved 2 spaces, it does not have enough movement left to get into hand-to-hand combat with that commander. It could stay where it is and shoot at the commander, but only rolling 3 white dice, there is no way it could kill that commander in a single round of shooting, and it would then be very much exposed to a lot of return fire. I think the best thing to do for now is to duck around behind the corner and wait till later. Just to there. We have 4 more Gretchen in the top left quadrant. They are going to advance as far as they can. That completes all of our activations, so we move on to the reinforcement phase. We have only 4 reinforcement tokens left. They are all Gretchen, of course. We are going to place 2 there, and our last 2 in the top left entry point. That completes the alien phase. It is time for fiery retribution. As we begin this new Terminator turn, it is worth taking a moment to remind ourselves of what our objective is. We need to get to the computer terminal, which you can just see in the top right of the screen. The quickest way to get to that terminal is through the room with the android. But of course, our sneaky clever android has positioned itself out of line of sight, and in such a position that it can scurry out next turn and jab anybody who gets too close. But that is a risk we are going to have to take. So we're going to start the turn by activating our commander. He is going to advance towards the android, 4 spaces to there, and then we shoot. Rolling 2 successes, we easily kill the Gretchen. But there are still plenty more, which is great because that means more points for us. Next up, we're going to activate the Terminator adjacent to that orc. He's going to move into the corner, just there, and he is going to shoot that orc in the back. Rolling 2 successes, that is a kill. Another Greenskin joins the big wah in the sky, and we get 3 more points. Okay, next up, our heavy flamer is going to activate. We're just going to move 1 space to there, and we are going to aim our heavy flamer at the space between the Gretchen and the orc. No. Okay, that orc is a big problem for me, so we are going to send another Terminator to deal with him. He's playing Operation Protect the Flamethrower. He is going to shoot the orc at point blank range. And he only rolls 1 success. That's not going to do it either. We have 1 regular Stormbolter left. He too is going to help out the heavy flamer. We shoot the orc. We hope for the best. 2 hits, that is a kill. Finally, we take down that last orc. That is a relief, but we have been pulled very much out of position now. Our commander is alone. 3 points though, innit? I'm thinking maybe I should have used my fire order that turn in order to make sure we cleared all this stuff out. Never mind, it's time for the aliens to activate. We draw an event card. Mech Assault. All the androids and the Dreadnought may move up to twice their normal move this turn as well as attack. Well, that's alright, the android wasn't going to move far anyway. However, I do think we will deal with that duel last. Let's activate some Gretchen first. We have 2 Gretchen in the top corner of this quadrant. They are both going to shoot at the Stormbolter directly in front of them. First one rolls a 2, that's a miss. And the second one rolls a 2, it's still a miss. The second one that fired though is going to move, just to spread out a bit. Next we will face that lone Gretchen facing an entire army of Terminators. He's going to shoot at the closest Stormbolter. And he misses, so he might as well run away. Just to there for now. We have 1 more Gretchen in the central room. He is actually going to sneak up behind the commander and take a little shot at him, why not? He moves to there, 2 white dice. And he misses. I can't imagine the commander took that well though. Okay, we have a horde of Gretchen to activate. Here they come. This one comes in, stands in that corner and shoots at the Stormbolter. And gets a big fat nothing. Next one moves in, he can only see that one Stormbolter, so that's who he shoots at. And it's a 0-0. Next Gretchen. He moves in there and he also takes a shot. And it's a 2. Not good enough. Our last Gretchen from that section is going to move just to there. He's going to take up sentry duty. Meanwhile, over here we have 2 more little Gretchen, both of which will be able to get line of sight on the heavy flamer. He moves to there and shoots. And it's 2 hits. And then our next Gretchen activates. He shoots from there. Just 1. We do have a couple of Gretchen up in the top left quadrant. Those are just going to run as fast as they can to try and get involved in the action. There they are, just up there in the top left. And now we activate our android. It's going to go for it, hand-to-hand combat. It comes around the corner, the true Terminator in this game, and rolls 2 red dice. Rolling 0-0s, that is bad news for the alien player. Let's see what the commander can do. He rolls 0-0 as well. It is an epic clash. It is a standoff. It is a new Terminator turn. There is a lot of stuff on the board, a lot of things we want to clear out, but at the same time, I still don't think it's worth using our fire command. Just because we haven't met a Dreadnought yet, there are still 2 androids in the blip stack, there is also a Chaos Commander somewhere, and a missile launcher. So let's start by activating our commander. He's going to keep the mission in mind. He moves to there, and remember, our commander with a Stormbolter rolls 2 red dice rather than a red and a white, so we do have a good chance here. Oh, that's not just a good shot against an android, that would have been a good shot against a Dreadnought. That android is absolutely decimated. The little robotic guard dog is destroyed, and we get 10 points. Okay, let's try and regroup. Terminator in the bottom left activates. He moves to there, shoots the Gretchen directly in front of him. And rolls nothing. These Terminators may be deflecting a lot of damage, but they are not killing enough things. Okay, let's activate another Stormbolter. He moves to there and he is going to shoot the Gretchen in the doorway behind him. 3, that's more like it. Another dead Gretchen. And another 2 points. Okay, our Flamer has eyes on the Gretchen in the corridor behind him. If he drops a Flamer shot on the space between them, he could potentially kill them both. And he does, he rolls a big 5. 4 more points. And having done that, he's going to move out of harm's way. We have 1 Stormbolter left to activate. He moves to there and he is going to shoot that Gretchen in the corridor. Easily killing it with a roll of a 4. 2 points. That is the end of the Terminator's turn. Unfortunately, there is still a lot of aliens on the board. Let's draw an alien event card. It's a Gene Stealer. Place a Gene Stealer next to any Marine or Commander miniature. The Gene Stealer may attack and move as normal this turn. That is bad, because this Gene Stealer is going to target our Heavy Flamer. Okay, let's do this. Gene Stealers roll 2 red dice. And it's rolled a 3. That's a really good hit. Our Heavy Flamer needs a 3 to survive. And he rolls a 4! That is absolutely outstanding. That is incredible. Not only have we survived, we have turned around and we have punched that Gene Stealer straight in the mush. These Terminators are on fire today. Not literally, the Gretchen have been on fire. The Terminators are just doing really well. Absolutely brutal. Do not mess with the Terminators. Unfortunately, we don't get any points for that. Well, I guess it's up to the Gretchen to try and save the day, isn't it? This one at the bottom is going to move around and shoot the Heavy Flamer. We'll just do it from there. And he's rolled a 2. Not quite good enough. There's a Gretchen in the central room where the debris is. He has line of sight on the Stormbolter, so he's going to shoot him. And that's not doing anything, so he is now going to scurry down towards the south. 3 movement to the door and he opens it. And of course, we do not want to get too close to our friend, so we are going to move into the corner. We have another Gretchen in that central room. He's going to back off into the corner and try to hurt someone before he dies horribly. Just to there, and he shoots with 2 white. And it's just 2. For a second there, I thought that second spinning dice was going to turn up a 2 as well. More Gretchen for the meat grinder. More, I say. The one from the top left scurries into the room, takes up a shooting position. 2 white dice. Nope. And another. He's going to move there and shoot. Nope. And one more. He's going to take his shot from there. No. All we have left to do is advance those 2 Gretchen in the top left. And that finishes the alien turn, and to be honest, that was a massive disappointment. I really thought we were going to see the tables turn a little bit there. I thought we were going to lose the heavy flamer, and that really would have put some hurt on the Terminators, because without that heavy flamer they don't have any crowd control. But there we go, it is what it is. And what it is the Terminators go. We really need to press on into the next room. We need to get to that computer panel. However, with a movement of 4, my commander cannot reach the computer panel this turn anyway, and I think it would be better to try to regroup a bit before we do that. So our commander is going to start this turn by just moving up to the doorway and waiting. So he moves to there, and I think it's just about in line of sight to that Gretchen down in the bottom right. So we are going to shoot. Rolling a 3, we kill another Gretchen. Slowly thinning them out, banking points all the way. Alright, let's move our heavy flamer up because we can actually kill 2 Gretchen at once if we're lucky. If we stand there, we actually have line of sight to the space between the 2 Gretchen at the top of the board, so we will drop our flamer shot right there. But we roll double zeros. Just our 3 storm bolters now. First, the one that's furthest south is going to shoot at the Gretchen in the corner of the room. 2 hits, that's a kill. Slow and steady wins the race, 2 more points, and our Terminator advances as far as he can, to there. Next Terminator advances, shoots the Gretchen top right corner. 3 hits, that's another kill. Think we must have finally recalibrated these storm bolters, 2 more points. Our last storm bolter will shoot the Gretchen adjacent to him. That's a miss though, never mind, he pushes forwards, to there. And that finishes our turn. We really are not killing as many things as we need to be killing. And now the alien player activates, drawing a card. Android fault. You may not move or fire any of the androids or the dreadnought this turn due to a control malfunction. Not too worried about that, there are no androids or dreadnoughts on the board. In fact, there's not much of anything on the board. Let's see what we can do with what we've got. Gretchen in the bottom right is going to try and take out this heavy flamer. All the way into the corner. 2 white dice. Nope. We have the Gretchen in the central room. He's going to shoot at the storm bolter that's closest to him. Nope. Think he might take cover. Just to there while his little friend in the corridor takes a shot. 1 hit, nowhere near good enough. We are very low on units. We have 2 Gretchen left. The one that was hiding just behind the doorway to the north scurries around into line of sight and takes a shot. No. Our very final Gretchen will try to do the same. From there. That's not doing it either. I guess we will spend this next Terminator turn cleaning shop. First, our heavy flamer is going to shoot the Gretchen down in the bottom right corner. 3. That's a kill. Little bit of overkill, but it got the job done. 2 points. And now our flamer advances as far as he can. Next, of the 3 storm bolters we have in a row, the one at the top is going to shoot at the Gretchen he can see. Rolls a double zero. Regardless, he keeps the mission in mind and advances. The next storm bolter is going to shoot from there. Rolling a 1, just enough. The Gretchen is removed, and as always we take our 2 points. And then we move. Our last storm bolter will advance and then shoot. We will just go to there for a nice clean shot on this Gretchen. And we roll double zeros. I fear that as this campaign progresses, our Terminators will need to do better than this. I guess the last thing we need to do is we need to advance our commander into the room. He needs to go and activate the computer terminal. 4 movement points is just enough to get to the terminal, but alas, that does not complete the mission. Our commander now has to spend 2 uninterrupted turns accessing the terminal. During that time, he cannot move or shoot or play any order cards. And he is, of course, going to face a lot of attacks while he's doing that. Of course, as our commander has now moved into a new quadrant of the board, we have to place out some blips. And naturally, we are going to put them right in the commander's grill. And here's the thing, I have 1 stack of blips that I had allocated to the last quadrant of the board, and of course, our Terminators have not entered that quadrant. For a laugh, let's place those two. We will place them in that last quadrant as if we had gone and explored it, but these aliens will then advance on us and it will give us just a little bit of added tension for the last few turns of the game. They have all been placed as close as possible in that last quadrant of the board. We can imagine that as we have accessed the terminal, alarms have started sounding, all of the aliens in the building have been activated, they are coming to end us. And speaking of ending, that is the end of the Terminator player's turn, so we start the alien player's turn. We draw an event card. And we have drawn Alien Elite. You may pick any one alien miniature on the board, that miniature may then be used twice this turn. Unfortunately, we cannot play that on unrevealed blips, so we only have 3 Gretchen to choose from. We may as well give that skill to the Gretchen in the room with the debris. I am sure he will do great things for us. He is going to go to there, and he is going to take 2 shots at the flamethrower. Shot 1. Nope. Shot 2. Still no. But he has a movement left, so he is going to scurry back out of line of sight. Just to there, while his 2 buddies come in and have a go. We take our shot on the flamethrower. Just a 1. The final Gretchen charges, and he's going to shoot that Terminator with the Storm Bolter. Just a 2. Gretchen have been off all game. I don't think they've even rolled enough to kill a regular Marine, let alone a Terminator. But now things are going to kick off because we are going to open the door to the terminal room and we are going to advance with all of these blips. The 2 aliens behind the door are immediately revealed. 2 more Gretchen. Well, that's something. They are not going to worry about the commander for now. They are going to try and take out that flamer because we are going to have a lot of alien bodies in this room. A flamer could be a big problem. So our first one advances to there and he shoots with 2 white dice. And he has rolled a 3. That is the closest we have come so far, but our flamer has still survived. We need to roll a 4 to kill a Terminator. We're getting closer, let's try again. That one moves to the doorway and shoots at the flamer. That's not so good, just a 1. But I think with those Gretchen moved out of the way, the blip at the bottom of the board is now visible to our commander. And that is a Dreadnought. Our Dreadnought appears there. As much as I enjoy equipping the Dreadnought with a missile launcher, with the close quarters fighting that's going to be happening here, I have instead gone for the plasma gun and the assault cannon. But we're not going to activate him just yet, we're going to activate those other blips first. The first one moves into the room and reveals, and that is a missile launcher. I swear I did not stack these blips. This is pure fluke, this is pure luck that in the final section of the board, with the terminal right in front of us, we are getting out all of the big enemies. The missile launcher does roll 2 red dice when attacking, so it does have the potential to do some serious damage to our commander, so we are going to shoot the commander. First, let's move out of the way of the Dreadnought. We move to there. Even though the terminal is in the splash radius of the missile launcher's attack, it cannot be harmed by this attack, so we just roll our 2 dice and apply it to the commander. And it's a 0-0. Never mind, we have more blips. 2 movement points to there. It's an android. I swear I have not stacked these blips. He has 2 movement points left. That is enough to get into base contact with the commander and attack in hand-to-hand combat. He rolls 2 red dice. And he has rolled a 4. That is huge. That is a big hit. And the Terminator commander rolls a 3, so he loses and does take a wound. He has 5 wounds remaining. Next up, the Dreadnought's going to activate. It has a movement of 4, and we're going to park there. Our Dreadnought could get into hand-to-hand combat with the commander, and it would have the advantage. The Dreadnought rolls 2 red and 2 white combat dice, compared to the commander's 2 red dice. However, 1 bad dice roll and the Dreadnought would be smashed to bits. I think for now we are better off sitting back and just laying down some heavy firepower on the commander. First we hit him with a plasma gun for 2 red dice. That's a 2, that's not good enough. Then we hit him with the assault cannon, that's 2 red dice again. That's 2, still not good enough. And then he unloads his bolters, 2 white dice. And that misses 2. Okay, maybe fortune favours the bold, maybe we should have gone for the hand-to-hand attack. Never mind, there are many more blips to come. Let's activate those 2 on the far right. We open the door. They're not visible at the moment, so they are going to move in. 5 movement points gets that blip to there. 4 movement gets that blip to there, and we can reveal it because the commander can see it. And it's another android. Crikey. Fortunately, that blip moved 4 spaces to get into that position, and androids can only move 4 spaces, so that android cannot move anymore, but it can still shoot at the commander with 3 white dice. Only getting a 2, not good enough. And of course, we have all the blips that are in the top right quadrant, they are all going to advance. And that finishes the turn. It's the start of the Terminator's turn, and we have a difficult choice. Our Terminator commander is at the terminal. If he stays at the terminal for 2 turns and does nothing else, we win the game, and we win the game automatically. We don't even need to get back to the docking claw. However, he has to stay there for 2 turns doing nothing and surviving a lot of incoming fire. Alternatively, we could start this turn by playing our order card Fire, which will allow all of my Terminators to fire twice. That could potentially clear out most of these threats. But of course, if the commander is playing his order card, he is not paying attention to the terminal, and we would still have to wait another 2 turns to complete the mission. So the question is, how stalwart does our commander want to be? Is he going to stand there and brave all of those incoming attacks just to focus on the mission, or is he going to take a moment to call out his orders, get his other Terminators into action, and then deal with the terminal? Honestly, with 2 androids, a dreadnought and a missile launcher all kicking around, I think we have to play the order card. When we play this card, each of our marine miniatures, not our commander miniature, will be able to fire twice. Okay then, let's start with the heavy flamer. He moves into the room, he stands there, and he is going to drop his heavy flamer shot directly on that missile launcher. And he has rolled a 4. That is massive. It kills the android, the missile launcher, and that poor Gretchen. And best of all, we get a second shot. I've got a joke for you. An android, a Chaos Marine, and a Gretchen walk into hell. The devil says, that'll be 22 points, please. Our heavy flamer will now take his second shot. He's not allowed to move again. This card isn't giving him a double activation. It's just 2 shots. So from where he is, obviously we are going to shoot at the dreadnought. Dreadnoughts have an armor value of 4 because they are big chunky boys. And we roll a 3, that's not good enough. Never mind. Next up, being as our commander has played an order card and has already squandered his turn working on the console, he is going to shoot at the android he can see. 2 red dice. And he rolls a 3, that does kill the android. With the exception of the dreadnought and 1 chaos commander somewhere, all of our big threats have been removed. And we get another 10 points. Right, we have our 3 Stormbolters left. Let's get into the room, put down some firepower on this dreadnought. We're going to stop moving with our Terminator there because if we go any further, we are lining ourselves up nicely for the dreadnought's plasma gun. I don't want to do that. We are rolling 1 red and 1 white. We need to score a 3 on the red and a 2 on the white. It's a really hard thing to do, but we have 2 chances to do it. That's our first shot, that's a 00, that is not going to cut it. And our second shot is also a 00. Never mind. Let's move in our next Terminator. He goes to there and he takes 2 shots. That's a 1, that's not good enough. 1 more go. And a 2. Finally, our Terminator over on the left. First of all, he's going to shoot the Gretchen that's directly behind him. That's a 3, that's a kill. Another Gretchen takes a dirt nap, and we score 2 points. He's then going to move 4 spaces, and as tempting as it is to take a shot on the dreadnought, we're going to shoot the Gretchen behind us. Which we miss. And it is now the alien player's turn. We start by drawing an event card, the equipment malfunction. Pick 1 equipment card owned by any 1 marine player. That equipment card is lost due to malfunction. Fortunately, our Terminators do not have any equipment cards. Okay, our Gretchen that is diagonally adjacent to the Stormbolter is going to shoot. 2 hits. No one is on target in this game. We have 2 more sneaky Gretchen to advance. This one will go to there and shoot. 00s. And our next Gretchen moves to there and rolls a 1. We have a blip right up in our grill, let's reveal it. 2 movement to there and it reveals. And unbelievably, it's the Chaos Commander. The last thing that could really have hurt us. Now we have problems. That Chaos Commander is going to shoot my commander with 2 red dice. He rolls a 0-0 though. And now the Dreadnought brings all of its arms to bear. Let's do it. Let's close in. Close combat. We have the advantage. Let's see if we can crush the commander under our mechanical boot. We move up 2 spaces and we attack with 2 red and 2 white. And we have only rolled a single 1. What was I saying about fortune favours the bold? Our Terminator commander rolls 2 red dice. And he rolls a 2. He has succeeded by 1. That means we have inflicted 1 wound on the Dreadnought and it must discard one of its weapons. And we are going to discard our assault cannon. That just slides off the miniature and is returned to the game box. Well, that could definitely have gone better for the Dreadnought. We still have some blips to move though. Let's advance all of them. Well, isn't this turning into some glorious carnage? I do not have any order cards or equipment cards that can help me here in this situation. I just have to hope for the best. So let's start by activating our Flamer. He's going to move there and he is going to attack the Chaos Marine commander. Of course, the Dreadnought will also be in the splash range. And no, if I target the bottom right corner of the Dreadnought, it will not be hit 4 times. It's still only hit once. That is 6, the maximum I could have rolled, and that absolutely obliterates everything. Dreadnoughts have an armor class of 4 and they can take a maximum of 3 wounds. Each time they take a wound, they have to remove one of their heavy weapons. When they have no heavy weapons left to remove and they take a wound, they are destroyed. So our Dreadnought had 2 wounds remaining. By rolling a 6, we have inflicted just enough damage to destroy it completely. And of course, the poor Chaos Commander gets obliterated too. This was a huge roll and has pretty much won the game for us. The commander turns his attention back to the console, muttering under his breath, "Well, I helped." And our Flamer racks up another 35 points. The aliens threw everything at them in these final turns, but it was not enough. Maybe if the Terminators had lost a few models earlier on, things would have been different, but with a full squad of 5 Terminators, even 2 androids, a Dreadnought and a Chaos Commander, and indeed a missile launcher, plus some other Gretchen, it just wasn't enough. Okie dokie, our Storm Bolter in the middle of the line is going to shoot the Gretchen behind him. That's 3 hits, that's a kill. The Heavy Flamer cheers him sarcastically, and we add a measly 2 points to the bank. But he is then going to move into a position to protect our commander. Just there. Our Storm Bolter in the bottom left is going to shoot the Gretchen adjacent to him. And he misses. Never mind, he's going to stay put. And our last Terminator is going to go and plug the gap and then plug a Gretchen. He moves to there and shoots. At least the Heavy Flamer's doing something. Our commander, of course, presses some buttons. Beep bop boop. He is halfway to winning the mission. The alien player draws an event card. Battle plan. Each Marine player may pick 1 extra order card. Well, that's pretty much irrelevant at this point because our commander is not going to be able to play any order cards because doing so would distract him from completing his objective. Well, I guess these 2 Gretchen on the left might as well shoot at the Terminators. We need to kill something at least. First shot. Nope. Second shot. Nope. They could retreat, get out of line of sight, prevent the Terminators from scoring any more points, but at this stage, the Terminators have all the damn points. It doesn't matter. Let's see what we can do with our remaining army of blips. The closest one advances, coming into line of sight and being revealed. It is our last Chaos Warrior, very late to the party. He has more than enough movement points to get into base contact with the Storm Bolter and attack in hand-to-hand combat. We might as well at this point play the odds, try to kill something. We stand there and attack with 2 white dice. And we roll double zeros. The alien player just can't catch a break today. Our Terminator responds. He also rolls double zero though. It is a stay of execution. Let's get some more blips into action. 3 movement points to there. It's just a Gretchen. Thought we nearly killed them all. He may as well keep moving into the corner. He's got line of sight on the Storm Bolter. He might get lucky. 2 white dice. No. Next blip. 3 movement to there. It is an orc. We have one last chance at least to get into hand-to-hand combat and do some damage. Come on my beautiful green boys, kill at least one of these tin cans for me. We roll 2 white dice. 1 success. The Terminator retaliates. And also rolls 1, so the orc doesn't die, but it doesn't kill anything either. We keep going, more blips. 5 movement points to there will get us into line of sight. It's just a Gretchen. He will continue moving into the corner and shoot, like so. Double zeros. At this point, I expected nothing else. We can get another blip in though. That's 4 movement to there, and it's another Gretchen. Really was hoping for one of his big cousins, but he may as well take a shot on the Storm Bolter. 2. Let's move the last of these blips. We'll bring those in next turn. Did I move the ones over on the left? Does it even matter? Let's bring them round anyway. If I've already moved them, they can have a double movement. It doesn't matter. We can give the alien player all the bonuses at this point. They have lost. Okie dokie, our Terminator on the far right is going to back off 1 space. He's going to shoot the Chaos Marine. 2, not enough to kill it. But have no fear, here comes the Heavy Flamer. He's going to stand there and he is going to drop a fireball directly in front of that orc. And he rolls a double zero. Okay, Terminator over on the far left is going to shoot at the Gretchen. And kills it. And of course, we all know by now, that's 2 points. And then that Terminator is going to move to there. Our last Storm Bolter is going to shoot the Gretchen behind him. 1 success, he does kill it. You know the drill. Gretchen falls down, score goes up, and that last Terminator is going to move to plug the gap in our defensive line. Our commander goes bleep blop bloop, and that is that. We have accessed the terminal for 2 consecutive turns without being interrupted. The alien player has 1 final turn in which they can attempt to score some points, and then that is that. We draw an alien event card. Booby Trap. A Marine steps onto a defense charge. Pick any 1 Marine miniature, not a commander, and make a missile launcher attack on that square. Naturally, I'm going to target the Flamer. And I roll a double zero. Did we expect anything else? Never mind, let's do some killy stuff. Our Marine is going to move into the room and attack the Flamer. 2 white dice. And we roll 2 successes, that's pretty good. The Flamer retaliates. And rolls double zero. Unfortunately, right at the very end of the mission, the very last turn, the Flamer goes down. I was hoping for a clean sweep, but there we go, it has to be expected. The alien player rolls so many dice, sooner or later the odds will swing. Let's see if we can go 2 for 2 with our orc. He's going right to the back and he's attacking with 2 white dice. 1 success. The Terminator defends. And rolls double zero. That is another kill. In 1 turn, in 2 rounds of hand-to-hand combat, we have lost 2 Terminators. If the Terminators had rolled like that earlier on, this would have been a very different game. Well, that Gretchen in the bottom right's got line of sight on the Terminator. Let's see if we can go 3 for 3. No. But we have more Gretchen. This one will shoot from there. No. And the last one will shoot from there. No. We do have more blips, but they cannot get into line of sight this turn, and therefore the game is over. It is a comprehensive win for the Terminators, despite some unusual losses on the very final turn. Let's tot up our mission points and our campaign points. Well, to put it bluntly, this was a devastating loss for the alien player. They only managed to kill 1 Flamer unit and 1 Storm Bolter unit. Now, when you run a regular Marine squad, the alien player scores 5 points for killing a Marine and 10 points for killing a commander. There is no mention in the rules for this campaign that the killing of Terminators should grant more points than that. However, considering Terminators are tougher and deadlier than regular Marines, it seems reasonable to make them worth more points. So I am valuing regular Terminators at 10 points and the Heavy Flamer and the Commander at 15 points. As the alien player killed the Flamer and 1 regular Terminator, he gets a total of 25 points. Unfortunately, a score of less than 29 points is bad news for them. The powers of chaos are displeased with them and transform them into a chaos spawn. In other words, they would have lost all the progress they had made in the campaign up to this point. Fortunately for them, it was the first mission in the campaign. Meanwhile, the Terminators completed the primary objective and accessed the computer terminal, scoring 30 points. Additionally, they killed 157 points worth of aliens. However, we do have to deduct points for the Terminators we lost, so from our total of 187 points, we deduct 25 points for a total score of 162, which is still absolutely huge. This is a heroic performance, which means they get 3 honour badges for the start of the next mission. Furthermore, we are automatically promoted. We go from Sergeant to Lieutenant Primus. As a Lieutenant Primus, we will start the game with 2 order cards. Having 3 honour badges, we will also have access to 3 equipment cards. We could also cash in some of those honour badges for a Librarian. The final thing to note is because we won this first mission in the campaign, we have scored 10 victory points for the campaign. To be ultimately victorious, by the time we have finished this 5-part campaign, we must have at least 35 victory points. This is a good start. But that is it from me for now. Thank you so much for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, please consider pressing the like button. If you really enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing if you don't already do so, and hopefully I will see you all again very soon. Bye bye everyone, bye bye.